Okay. Yeah, we can do passenger side. Sumner Sky 5, we're here. Thank you for joining us on KTLA.com and our Facebook page. I'm Colton One Person, Sky 5. We are over a pursuit of a shooting suspect here by LAPD. You can see those units right behind this black Audi. They don't know the plates on it right now, but they know the suspect was involved in a shooting, or they suspect him to be involved in a shooting. But this pursuit started in the South LA Southwest Division by some gang units, from what we understand, has made its way northbound up the 110 onto the 10, and then went northbound on the 405, and now we're southbound on the 405, approaching Venice Boulevard, and just making our way here at about 100 miles an hour here down the southbound 405. Luckily, light traffic right now, light to medium traffic. This vehicle has been able to... Good. Correct, yeah, I've heard him repeat it multiple times as well, so I would say it's as confirmed as can be. Okay, so can I say it, or should I not? Now we're still going about 90 miles an hour here, southbound 405, approaching Jefferson. This gets a little bit interesting for us here in the helicopters, as this is... Yes, sir. As we're getting close to LAX, and we have to kind of divert away from the 405 freeway to let those large air carriers land with all their passengers. So we're going to get a little bit of a long shot on it, but we'll keep with it the best that we can here in Sky 5. And the air units for LAPD are right on this, as well as multiple ground units are following this pursuit as well. Looking out my window, there are 3 units behind this pursuit. That's a standard kind of pursuit package for LAPD. You got a supervisor and 2 patrol units involved in this pursuit. And then they have other units in the area just in case the vehicle gets off the freeway, or one of the units in the pursuit breaks down or something like that. They can always take over and assist those involved in the pursuit. But this black Audi here is still going about 90 miles an hour here, southbound 405, approaching Sepulveda Boulevard, jumping into that carpool lane you can see there. But light traffic here on the freeways as we work through the area here near LAX. Hard on the brakes there, slowing down quite a bit. Now this is an interesting one. Typically when pursuits get on the freeway, usually the California Highway Patrol takes over and begins to be that agency in pursuit. However, in case here, the LAPD never requested assistance from the California Highway Patrol, the CHP, so they're staying out of the pursuit. They are letting their officers know that there is a pursuit in the area, just in case they do need to take over, and for that officer safety, so they don't get involved, and so that they're aware that that's what those police cars going past them on the freeway are doing. But the thing about when CHP takes over is they require that the pursuing agency that requested their help back out of the pursuit. It doesn't seem like the LAPD will want that right now. But you can see this unit and that suspect vehicle just weaving through traffic there between that carpool lane and that number 1 lane. Still going about 90 miles an hour here on the southbound 405 in the Inglewood area. Southbound 405 approaching the 105. We'll have to see what the suspect does here. If that suspect makes a turn onto the 105, we'll pretty much be doing a big circle from where this started in the southwest area of LAPD division here in South LA. But we'll have to see what he does here as they come up to the 105. We're just about a mile away from that now. But you can see the suspect slowing down, getting over to that number 4 lane. So it looks like they might be transitioning onto the 105. We'll have to see what happens here. And it looks like we are transitioning onto the 105, getting off on that off ramp, and we'll see which direction we're going. Eastbound 105 from the 405 now. So just like we were talking about, the suspect pretty much doing a big circle now, going back to where this pursuit started in the southwest area of LAPD here in South Los Angeles. It gets a little confusing for the public here on these freeways when they see these police lights coming with lights and sirens blaring, especially when they're in those fast lanes and those officers are going down the slower lanes to the right. What you're trained to do as a driver is to move to the right when you see those lights, but when these high-speed cruisers are going by in these pursuits, it can get a little confusing. So the police have to be very careful of where they position their cars and what they do in these situations, and watch for those citizens in the area trying to get off to the side or slow down to get out of the way. And so it's not just one of those things where it's a dangerous situation because of the high speeds of the pursuit, but also because you want to protect those civilians on the ground as well, and those drivers, because it does get very confusing for those drivers on the road. But you can see the night sun from LAPD's airship over the pursuit. They're calling the pursuit for those officers on the ground, allowing those officers to focus on driving and sticking with the vehicle, and informing those officers of traffic and other hazardous conditions, and where this pursuit is at all times, so that those officers on the ground can stay focused on the pursuit and stay safe, and that the leadership in the police department know where this pursuit is and where it is going. Still westbound or eastbound 105 in the Hawthorne area, slowing on the brakes, quite hard on the brakes actually, from 90 miles an hour down to 65 there, what we're seeing on Skyview 5. I'm not sure why that is, if there's just some traffic ahead, or it looks like there might be a slower van ahead of this, but this suspect vehicle wanted for involvement in a shooting, still being pursued by LAPD here in now Hawthorne, going eastbound on the 105, coming up on Crenshaw Boulevard. Slowing down quite a bit again. It looks like the suspect may be trying to transition off the freeway, or there might be a problem with the vehicle going at those high speeds for such a long time. These cars aren't made for that. So really unsure what's going on, but it looks like we're going to be veering off to the right, and we'll have to see what happens here. I'm going to go around the semi. And we're still eastbound 105, about 70 miles an hour now, approaching Western. This pursuit's been going for about 20 minutes now, and it's covered a lot of ground like we were talking about earlier. Started in the southwest area of LAPD, so South LA area, made its way northbound on the 110 freeway, up to the 10, went westbound over to the 405, went northbound 405, did a U-turn, came southbound 405 all the way down to the 105, and now we're getting off here at, let's see, getting off the 105 at Vermont and going southbound on what looks to be Vermont from the 105. You can see the LAPD there just sliding along, trying to keep a light on that vehicle, see inside it, get more information for those officers on the ground of who's in the vehicle and what they're doing. But you can see the lights are kind of on inside that vehicle. We'll try to get a closer shot for you. Of course, there's a driver. Unsure if there's a passenger or not, but it looks like they turned off the lights now. They're wanted for a shooting. Now southbound Vermont. And we just heard that the driver did throw something out their front window, so the LAPD are going to have to stop and pick that up. But you can see this primary unit still in pursuit. Pursuits get a little more dangerous when they're on the sides or on the surface streets versus on the freeway, because when you get on the surface streets, you have to worry about pedestrians and cross traffic just jumping through that intersection there. And now going 126th Street eastbound from Vermont, it's going to be 11 o'clock. And still about 50 miles an hour down these residential streets in this area. Very dangerous, especially this time of night. There might people be out walking their dogs or other things on the street, and they're not expecting a pursuit to come through their community. But luckily, airship overhead lighting up the situation, calling out those hazardous situations ahead. But you can see that car stopping, backing up, getting out of the way as this pursuit now goes northbound Hoover from 126th Street here in the south area of Los Angeles. Jumping through that intersection, running that stop sign there, kind of hugging that center line, kind of jumping into the other lane from time to time, but making its way still northbound on Hoover, about 40 miles an hour right through that intersection. Again, luckily no cross traffic. Speed bumps in the area, but that's not slowing this driver down any. And now coming up on a busier intersection, cross traffic, and we're going to be going eastbound on 120th from Hoover. And now we're taking off again, a little bigger of a street with wider lanes, so that suspect feels a little more comfortable, as we can tell. But those units still right behind and the airship right overhead. We'll have to see what they do here. That unit is getting a little close, but that might be just to show that suspect, hey, we're here, we're not giving up, we're not going anywhere. We're going to follow you wherever you go, and you're going to get caught. Southbound Figueroa from 120th. Now back over, what is this, the 405? The 110 freeway, and making our way up to El Segundo. We'll have to see what they do here. Slowing down for that cross traffic. This is a busy intersection, and we're going to go southbound El Segundo, or westbound El Segundo. The driver has the ability to get on the freeway, possibly here. We'll have to see what they do, but it looks like they're going to jump that entry to the 110 freeway and continue now westbound here on El Segundo. Another busy intersection. Luckily, this driver isn't just flying through these intersections. He's slowing down. Almost looks like he was talking to that individual in the corner, but now speeding away from that corner. Now northbound on Vermont from El Segundo, jumping back into the to the residential area here. Some sparks on that corner as they turn, jumping over that speed bump. They're going to go right under us, so just bear with us as we do this move. We have to widen out, kind of turn the camera as the suspect goes right under us. You can see cars on the corners there. We've already been here before. This is 126th and at Lyconina here in the South Los Angeles area. Suspect kind of been circling this area. Not sure if they know this area or not, but you see LAPD still right on the tail. Wrong side of the road there, going around that slower vehicle. And this is the residential area, so we... there's a lot of danger here for those pedestrians and those other vehicles in the area. They're not expecting this, but now back on that main street, El Segundo Boulevard, just done a big circle there here, just to the east of the 110 freeway. wrong side of the road here, and turning again. We were just here kind of slowing down for the people in the corner there, but now we are back on Vermont. Northbound Vermont through 123rd again. And we're turning again. So kind of just doing circles here. Maybe looking for a spot to stop and bail out of the vehicle. We're not sure. Spark's still coming off of that car every time it kind of goes through a dip. We're going to focus in a little more on that vehicle because he's going in that center divider and getting some speed. But let's see what he does coming up here to Hoover on 120th again. And these streets might start sounding familiar because all this suspect is doing is circling an area. Over that speed bump again, LAPD right behind. Nowhere for this suspect to go with that airship overhead. If this stops and the suspect runs, that airship's going to be able to keep up with them on the ground and direct those officers in. But through that stop shot again, then now what they're doing is trying to figure out the best way to bring this pursuit to an end. When we talk about pursuits, especially on surface streets, there are a few different options that the police departments have: spike strips, pit maneuvers, things like that. And so the supervisors in this pursuit are strategizing, trying to figure out what the best solution is to stop this pursuit. And it sounds like the suspect might be coming up on a dead end. Up, we have vehicles in the center divider. You good? Okay. And pedestrians coming out to the vehicle. We'll have to see what happens. We're going to hold just a little bit wider of a shot. Looks like they're running up to that vehicle, possibly knowing that suspect hands up, coming out of the car. You see LAPD here with a large contingency of officers. That suspect coming out, proning out, arms out. And first thing that the officers are going to have to do is clear those civilians out of the area to protect them from any sort of danger involving in this pursuit. And it looks like they are backing off slowly, but they're not going to give up their position of advantage, and they're going to encourage those civilians to move away from the vehicle back to a safe spot, and then they're going to begin taking that suspect into custody and clearing the vehicle. From what I can tell from here in Sky 5, I don't see any passengers in that vehicle. You can see that team approaching the vehicle to clear that vehicle, make sure there is no one else inside that vehicle. That suspect's still proned out by that driver door. The next thing they're going to do after they clear the vehicle, make sure it's clear of any other suspects, is then send an arrest team up to arrest that suspect wanted for possible involvement in a shooting. This is Konya and Ainsworth here in Los Angeles. See that arrest team approaching the suspect, and they're going to take that suspect into custody. A successful end to a pursuit here in the area of South LA. Final things that they're going to do here is take that suspect into custody and then clear that trunk of the suspect vehicle, make sure that there's nothing harmful in that trunk. You can see the officers still poised with their guns drawn at that trunk, just in case for some reason it popped open and someone popped out or something like that. But the suspect is in custody. The police department has called Code 4, meaning that the situation is over and safe, and a successful end to this pursuit that went for about 30 minutes here all across this Los Angeles, starting here in the Southland and ending here as well. Laconia, Laconia, and Ainsworth, Ainsworth. Lacon as in Nancy, A as in Alpha. Yep. Anything else you need? Copy. It's really hard. It's so dark down there. I think I got what I can, Matt. I'm talking about. Roger, clear for Whiteman. North 110.